Thor's hammer vanished in battle, again. But this time, it didn't return to the god of thunder. Buried under rubble, it called out, not to Asgard, but to Earth. And Wolverine heard it and answered. When his claws met the handle, the sky cracked in rage. Mjolnir didn't reject him, it welcomed him. Now, Thor faces a terrifying truth. The hammer didn't lose its way, it chose a new god, and he's already killed. The wind howled across a broken battlefield. Ash fell like snow as Thor staggered forward, blood trailing from his brow. His armor was cracked, lightning arcing erratically around his trembling hands. But none of it mattered, because Mjolnir was gone. He called again, not with words, with his soul. The way only a god could summon something forged in the heart of a dying star. Nothing. The hammer had left him. Again, he dropped to one knee. The earth beneath him trembled with distant thunder, but it wasn't coming from above. It was coming from below, from the depths of somewhere Mjolnir had fallen to, or worse chosen to go, far across the continent. Snow cracked beneath boots older than memory. Logan hadn't felt peace in years, but something in the air had changed. A vibration, a pull, not like a voice, but like a scream deep inside his bones. He lit a cigar, eyes scanning the horizon. The forest around him was silent, too silent. Animals had fled. The clouds above churned without thunder. Then the ground beneath him shook, just once, like the breath of something waking up. He followed it. By the time he reached the ridge, the snow was gone, melted into steam. Trees had been vaporized in a perfect circle, leaving only scorched earth. In the center, half buried in molten stone, was a hammer. Not just any hammer. The hammer. Logan took a step closer. The hair on his arms bristled. Lightning danced along the surface of Mjolnir like it was alive, like it was watching. He should have turned back. He didn't. He reached out. The moment his fingers touched the handle, the sky screamed. Lightning split the clouds and punched into the earth, not in rejection, in acceptance. Mjolnir surged into his palm like it had been waiting. Logan didn't fall. He didn't burn. He stood taller. Power flooded his veins. His claws snapped out, laced in crackling stormlight. His muscles tightened, restructured. His wounds, every scar, healed in a flash. He blinked, and his eyes now held thunder in them. Somewhere far away, Thor felt it. He turned his head sharply as if struck. Odin's ravens shrieked and flew from the trees. The skies above Asgard cracked, clouds swirling in unnatural patterns. "No," Thor whispered. "It can't be." He slammed both fists into the ground. Energy exploded out in a wave, leveling trees for miles. The Bifrost opened behind him without a word. He didn't wait for Heimdall. He didn't even wait for the All-Father's counsel. The hammer had chosen someone else. And that someone was Wolverine. Back on Earth, Logan stood still, the hammer in one hand, his claws in the other. But something was wrong. The power didn't stop at strength. It dug deeper, into memories, into pain. He saw flashes, not his own, images of war, of Asgard's destruction, of the hammer being used not as a weapon of justice, but as execution. The hammer wasn't pure. It never was. It didn't want to be wielded by the worthy. It wanted to be wielded by the willing. And Logan was nothing if not willing. He took a step forward. The ground shook. Storms gathered above without warning. Rain fell sideways. Wolves fled from the woods. Every cell in his body screamed that this wasn't right, and he ignored every one of them. When he returned to the town nearby, people didn't recognize him. His voice crackled when he spoke. His presence distorted streetlights. A boy reached out to touch the glowing hammer and passed out from the energy. That's when the Avengers got the alert. Thor arrived first. He didn't say a word at first, just looked at Logan, standing on the edge of a ruined field, hammer in hand, arms pulsing with blue fire. "You don't know what that thing has done," Thor said. Logan's eyes glinted. "I don't care what it's done. I care what I can do with it. It's using you." "No," Logan growled. "It's the first thing that's ever understood me." Lightning snapped across the sky. People screamed and scattered as the first bolt struck the earth like a war drum. Thor reached out his hand, commanding Mjolnir to return. It didn't move. Logan smiled. Thor narrowed his eyes and took a step forward. "This is not you, Logan. You were never a villain." Logan raised the hammer. "Then stop me." Thunder exploded across the horizon. The war had begun. Thor moved first. His body surged forward like a comet, eyes blazing, fists wrapped in thunder. Every step cracked the earth beneath him. But Logan didn't flinch. He just raised the hammer, Thor's hammer, and met the god halfway. The sky turned white when they collided. Energy rippled out in a perfect circle, shattering glass miles away. Lightning coiled around Logan's arms like armor, clashing with a raw, golden surge bursting from Thor's chest. Their fists met, not once, not twice, but a flurry so fast the air couldn't keep up. Then Thor swung his own fist wide, and Logan ducked, dragging Mjolnir through the ground. It tore through dirt, stone, and steel like it was paper. He brought it up in an arc, boom, straight into Thor's ribs. Thor flew backwards, crashing through a semi-truck, then a building, then silence. Logan stood alone in the crater, breathing hard, electricity dancing across his shoulders. The hammer pulsed with satisfaction. He could feel it smiling inside him. This wasn't just power. This was judgment. This was a weapon tired of gods who talked about worth but ran from war. Thor emerged from the rubble, coughing blood, his cape in tatters. He looked at Logan, no through him. That hammer wasn't made for your kind. Logan wiped blood from his mouth. No, it was made for whoever could survive it. You're being used. I've always been used, Logan growled. By Weapon X, by the X-Men, by humanity. But this time, I get to hit back. The sky bled thunder. Thor raised his arm, no hammer to summon, and channeled raw stormlight into his palms. Lightning curved around his arms like serpents. He whispered to the storm, to the fragments of Asgard still hiding in the clouds. He charged again, but Logan was faster. Mjolnir cracked against Thor's jaw, then his knee, then his chest. Every hit exploded like a bomb. Thor tried to block, to dodge, but the hammer knew his rhythm. It remembered him, and now it used that memory against him. Still, Thor didn't fall. He grabbed Logan mid-swing and drove his head into the earth, creating a second crater. Then he raised both fists and slammed them into Logan's back with enough force to split mountains. Logan roared, not in pain, but rage, and lashed out, claws extended. One claw tore through Thor's side. The other nearly reached his heart. Blood hit the ground, and then silence. Both stood there, heaving, wounded, but not broken. Overhead, Quinjet engines roared. Backup had arrived. Iron Man descended first, repulsors flaring. Whoa, whoa, are we picking sides or breaking planets? Captain Marvel hovered beside him, eyes flaring. He's wielding Mjolnir. Spider-Man landed next, barely keeping his balance as wind from the lightning storms pushed him sideways. Guys? Shouldn't Thor have the hammer? Logan looked at them, voice low and cold. Tell them, Thor. Tell them the truth. Thor didn't answer, so Logan did. This hammer didn't choose me because I'm worthy. It chose me because I'll do what you won't. I'll burn your enemies to ash. I'll wipe out every threat before it becomes one. I won't hesitate. Carol narrowed her eyes. You're talking like a killer. I am a killer, Logan snapped. But for once, I'm not the only one. He pointed the hammer skyward. Lightning crashed down, not one bolt, but 7, slamming into the earth behind him, a warning. I've seen your future, he snarled. I've seen what happens when you wait. You give speeches. You debate. You compromise. And every time, someone dies because you hesitate. Tony raised his hand slowly. Logan, this isn't you. Logan didn't move. You're right. This isn't me. This is something better. Spider-Man stepped forward. No, this is something worse. In a blink, Logan was in front of him. Too fast, too silent. The hammer rested inches from Peter's chest, humming with the storm. Kid, Logan said softly, don't try to stop me. And for the first time, Peter stepped back. Then the hammer began to glow. Not just lightning, something deeper. Ancient runes flared on its surface. The sky twisted. A crack opened in the clouds, a portal, maybe, or a vision. They all saw it. Cities burning. Avengers dead. A black throne built from old bones, and Mjolnir resting at its center. Wielded by Logan. It wasn't just prophecy. It was destiny. Thor stepped forward, broken but unbent. If you keep that hammer, if you follow what it shows you, you won't just kill your enemies. You'll become them. Logan looked back at him, quiet now. I already did years ago. This just makes it honest. And with that, he turned his back on the Avengers. Iron Man aimed a repulsor. Last warning. Logan didn't even turn. Don't. A flash of thunder knocked Iron Man from the sky. Carol caught him. Peter ran to his side. But Logan was gone. Only the hammer's echo remained. And the storm that followed was no longer Thor's. It was his. He vanished into the storm. No one followed. Not even Thor. Because every hero who had faced Logan now understood. This wasn't a man carrying Mjolnir. This was Mjolnir carrying a man who had nothing left to lose. And the hammer wasn't done choosing. It was rewriting him. Far beyond the battlefield, deep in the Arctic wastelands, Logan stood alone as snow spiraled violently around him. But the storm never touched him. Lightning hovered in his breath. The hammer floated beside him now, no longer needing to be held. It pulsed in rhythm with his heart. Mjolnir had become something else. And so had he. His claws were no longer just bone and adamantium. They radiated with thunder now, energized blades of raw cosmic power. The wind around him wasn't wind anymore. It was the whisper of lost gods echoing through his mind. Logan had always fought the beast inside, but now he had become it. And the beast had a weapon forged by stars. He wasn't hiding in the wasteland. He was waiting. The next move belonged to them. Back at Avengers HQ, chaos. Tony paced with both hands locked behind his head, screens flickering across the command center. He's rewriting the hammer's code, he muttered. Mjolnir doesn't have code, Steve snapped. It's not a machine. Tony pointed to the display, glowing Asgardian runes restructured in impossible patterns. It does now. Bruce leaned over the console. If he's bonding with it on that level, we're not just dealing with Logan. We're dealing with an evolving AI with God-tier access to storm energy and a grudge. Carol stepped forward. We need to take him down before he sets a precedent. Precedent? Peter asked. He's not starting a debate, he's becoming a storm. Thor said nothing. He had stood silent for over an hour, eyes closed, hands trembling, because he could feel it, not just the hammer, but the force inside it. Something deeper, something ancient. Mjolnir hadn't just chosen Logan because of rage. It chose him because it wanted freedom, and freedom meant war. Thor opened his eyes. I will go alone. No chance, Steve barked. You go out there solo, and he kills you, what then? Thor shook his head. This is not your fight. He was our teammate, Carol cut in. He still is. Thor turned to her slowly. He's not Logan anymore. The Bifrost opened with a roar, and he was gone. When he arrived, the sky was black. Not night, storm. No stars. No sun. Just clouds swirling endlessly above an empty tundra. Then lightning struck in a perfect circle around him. 8 bolts. 8 warnings. He stepped forward anyway. Logan, he said calmly, you don't have to carry it. A voice echoed from all sides. I'm not carrying it. I am it. And then Logan emerged, hovering slightly above the ground, eyes white with storm fire, veins glowing under his skin like rivers of plasma. I feel everything, Logan said. Every life you saved, every one you didn't, every soul your hammer broke and buried. Thor's fist tightened. The hammer never had a soul. You do, and it's not too late to take it back. Logan raised his arm. Mjolnir snapped to his hand with a crack of thunder. Thor stepped forward. Fight me without it. Logan dropped the hammer. The earth groaned. I was hoping you'd say that. Then he lunged. Faster than lightning. Thor met him in the air. Fist against claw. God against mutant. Old blood splattered across ancient snow. Logan's claws slashed open Thor's chest. Thor's elbow shattered Logan's jaw. Neither held back. Every punch was meant to kill. Every scream echoed through the clouds. But this time, Thor was fighting for more than just the hammer. He was fighting for the man inside it. "You're better than this." Thor roared. "Maybe I don't want to be." Logan snapped. They clashed again, until Thor caught Logan mid-strike and drove him into the ice with all the force of the storm. But Logan grinned through the blood. "You're pulling your punches." Thor looked down, and in that instant, Mjolnir rose on its own. It struck Thor in the spine like a divine missile. He screamed and collapsed, twitching. Logan stood again, panting. "You're not the only one it listens to now." He reached down and pressed the hammer to Thor's chest. A charge built. One more strike, and it would stop a god's heart. Then he hesitated. His hands shook. Memories flooded in Jean Charles Scott, the screams, the blood, the endless war. And a question he couldn't bury anymore. What if they were right? Mjolnir buzzed louder, demanding obedience. Thor looked up, broken but calm. "You don't have to prove anything to that weapon. You never did." Logan blinked. The storm flickered. The hammer dimmed. Then a voice, deep and ancient, whispered from inside the weapon. "Finish it." He dropped the hammer, fell to his knees, and screamed. Not from pain, from the weight of everything. The lightning stopped. The storm broke, and the sky showed stars again. Thor rose slowly. "You're still in there." Logan looked up, eyes wet, bloodied claws digging into the ground. "I don't know what I am anymore." "You're Logan," Thor said, holding out his hand. "And the storm's over." But behind them, the hammer hovered, alone, silent, and angry, because it wanted the war to continue. And somewhere deep in the cosmos, it began to call again. The hammer didn't fall. It floated, silent, watching. Thor and Logan stood still, both breathing hard, their wounds lit by fading stormlight. The sky had calmed, but something underneath hadn't. Mjolnir pulsed once, barely visible, but enough to turn Thor's head. It was thinking, and it wasn't done. Without warning, Mjolnir shot straight into the sky, vanishing through clouds, leaving behind a rip in the atmosphere that crackled like torn reality. Thor stepped back, eyes wide. "It's searching. For what?" Logan asked, his voice hoarse. Thor's expression darkened. "Another host." Logan looked down at his hands. The storm residue still sparked in his veins. "It used me. It showed me power, then left when I hesitated." "It's never been just a weapon," Thor said. "It's a force. It adapts. It chooses what serves its will." "And what's its will now?" Thor didn't answer. But in space, stars bent around Mjolnir's speed. It pierced asteroid belts, warped through planetary rings, and dove toward a prison satellite orbiting Jupiter. Inside, locked beneath 10 levels of reinforced adamantium, a mutant sat in silence, eyes closed, head shaved, skin covered in old scorch marks and psychic burns. The guards called him Zorn, once a healer, once a weapon, now forgotten. But as Mjolnir slammed through the outer shell, alarm screamed. He opened his eyes. They glowed white. The hammer floated before him. It didn't ask. It offered, and he accepted. Mjolnir flared, merging with Zorn's core, fusing its power into something it had never become before. Not just lightning, but gravity, radiation, fusion itself. The guards died instantly. The satellite cracked in half. And from within the storm of cosmic light, a new figure emerged, floating, silent, cloaked in solar flares, carrying a twisted, reformed Mjolnir that burned like a miniature sun. Back on Earth, Tony saw it on satellite feed. "Tell me that's not what I think it is." Carol flew to the screen. The hammers bonded again. Bruce leaned forward, voice low. But this time, it didn't choose anger. Steve stepped in. Then what did it choose? Thor didn't look at them. He felt it. Felt the weight shifting across the cosmos. It chose clarity. Logan stepped beside him. And clarity kills faster than rage. The feed showed the prison satellite in pieces, orbiting as burning wreckage. The new wielder, Zorn reborn, drifted above it like a god without a face. Mjolnir had changed form to match him. Longer handle, glowing rings, no runes, just pulsing heat. Peter stepped into the room, whispering what they all feared. "So who do we send this time?" Silence. Then Logan stepped forward, claws retracted. "I started this. I finish it." Thor stopped him. "Not alone." Carol nodded. "We go together." Tony sighed. "Then suit up. We're chasing a hammer that learned how to think." As they prepared, stars above twisted once more. Zorn turned toward Earth and smiled. The sky over Earth fractured as he arrived. Zorn descended like a dying star, wrapped in gravitational storms. Cities felt it before they saw him. Buildings trembled. Birds dropped mid-flight. Satellites glitched out. The hammer pulsed in his hand, no longer bound by ancient enchantments. It had become a Suncore weapon, a storm of fusion and intent. He didn't speak. He radiated purpose. On the ground, Thor, Logan, Carol, and Peter stood in a field where the Bifrost had landed them. Stark hovered above, targeting systems live. Non-lethal. Tony asked through the comms. "No such thing anymore," Carol muttered. Zorn saw them, paused midair. Mjolnir glowed, orbiting him like a moon. Then he raised a hand, and gravity collapsed. The entire battlefield compressed into a sphere of impossible pressure. Grass, trees, air, even light bent inward. Thor roared and threw himself forward first, charging headfirst into the collapsing field. Logan followed. Their bodies fought the force, but every step became heavier. Carol broke through from above, smashing through Zorn's pressure dome with a sonic boom. Thor reached him first. Their fists collided, sending a blast wave that flattened a mountain range in the distance. Zorn barely moved. He redirected the kinetic energy into his body and released it outward, a pulse that sent Thor crashing into orbit. Logan was next, claws charged with residual thunder, slashing at the solar storm. His strikes connected, but each hit drained him. The hammer's new form absorbed energy, feeding Zorn instead of weakening him. "I was made to heal," Zorn finally spoke, voice warped and layered. "But humanity only worships destruction. So the hammer chose purpose. You're not its purpose." Logan shouted, slashing again. "But I am its future." Zorn caught Logan midair, froze him in a time dilation pulse, and hurled him into the upper stratosphere. Logan vanished in a streak of light. Then Thor returned, bruised, bleeding, enraged. He called down raw storm force, not Mjolnir's, but his own, ancient, unfiltered, wild. Lightning danced in his veins as he shouted the name of every fallen god who'd once wielded power. He threw himself at Zorn with a final strike. No weapon, no trick, just pure god force. It landed. Mjolnir cracked. Zorn screamed. But it wasn't enough. Mjolnir shattered into shards of solar fire, burning pieces that spun around them like molten glass. And in that moment, Logan returned, falling from orbit, his body torn, his arms glowing white-hot. No claws, just fury. He crashed into Zorn like a meteor. The field erupted in silence. Then, collapse. When the dust cleared, Thor stood over Logan's unconscious body. Zorn was gone. The shards of Mjolnir floated in the air, no longer a weapon, just broken legacy. Carol landed beside him. "Is it over?" Thor looked at the remains of the hammer. "No." "Why not?" "Because it didn't die. It learned." From behind them, Peter whispered, "Where's the core?" The floating shards spun gently. The core was missing. Far above Earth in deep orbit, a single glowing spark drifted quietly into the void, unnoticed, silent, pulsing like a heartbeat. Waiting, searching, choosing. Again, the end.